French naval personnel board Russian Shadow Fleet tanker off their coast. Zelensky hails productive talks with US on long-range arms and how US to provide Ukraine with intelligence for missile strikes on Russia's energy infrastructure. The latest news next. The US and Ukraine are discussing the supply of long-range weapon systems. The outcome will depend on the decision of the American side, according to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, ahead of the 7th summit of the European political community. Zelensky comments on the possibility of receiving intelligence from the US for long-range missile strikes on Russia's energy infrastructure and noted that everything depends on the decision of US President Donald Trump.
We spoke with the United States. We are very thankful to President Trump for this dialogue. Last time, we had a very good meeting, very productive dialogue.
According to him, during the conversation, the parties discussed the supply of long-range weapon systems. Quote, "We will see. Everything depends on his decision. This is significant," Zelensky explains. "This is not just about weapons. It's about fairness, about allowing Ukraine to defend itself, not only at the front, but also in the enemy's rear, where logistics hubs, command posts, and energy facilities fuel Russia's war machine. Facts that matter. Russia strikes Ukrainian civilian infrastructure daily using long-range missiles and UAVs. Over 50% of Ukrainians' energy generation capacity has already been destroyed or damaged in 2024 to 2025 alone. Ukrainians' hands remain tied when it comes to high-value military targets deep inside Russia, despite having the technical capabilities to strike them, especially with US-supplied intelligence and platforms. Every HIMARS and ATACMS missile comes with conditions, often prohibiting use against Russian territory even when the target is purely military. Meanwhile, Russia launches cruise missiles from inside its own borders, safe in the knowledge that Ukraine cannot strike back. Russian oil refineries, rail hubs, and air bases remain untouched, not because they're untouchable, but because Ukraine is being politically restrained. Strategic reality. Denying Ukraine long-range capabilities or limiting their use means accepting a forever war where Ukraine bleeds and Russia rebuilds. Long-range precision strikes could cripple Russia's war logistics, reduce missile attacks on civilians, and shorten the war. The US has already provided Ukraine with long-range systems like ATACMS, but with limited variants and restrictions. That is not strategic ambiguity, it's strategic hesitation. The United States will provide Ukraine with intelligence to support missile strikes on Russia's energy infrastructure, according to the Wall Street Journal. According to US officials, President Donald Trump recently authorized the intelligence community and the Pentagon to assist Kyiv in conducting strikes. American authorities have also urged NATO allies to provide similar support. Officials noted that this marks the first time the Trump administration will help Ukraine carry out long-range missile strikes on energy facilities deep inside Russian territory. The Wall Street Journal added that while the US has long supported Kyiv's drone and missile operations, the new intelligence sharing arrangement will enable Ukraine to more effectively target oil refineries, power plants, and other infrastructure sites. These strikes are expected to hit facilities located far from Ukraine's borders to deprive the Kremlin of oil and revenue essential for sustaining its war effort. Other administration officials said Washington is also considering the transfer of Tomahawk and Barracuda missiles, as well as other US land and air-launched systems with ranges of around 800 kilometers. However, no final decision has yet been made on which weapons will be supplied. The Wall Street Journal reported that the combination of real-time intelligence and more powerful weaponry could have a far greater impact than Ukrainians' previous attacks on Russian territory, causing severe damage to Russia's energy sector. One US official said that American agencies are awaiting written authorization from the White House before releasing the necessary intelligence. The recent blackout at the former Chernobyl nuclear power plant facilities lasted for more than 3 hours, reported by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on X. Zelensky said this relates to a new shelter that protects the environment from the remnants of the number 4 reactor until after the 1986 explosion, as well as radioactive debris and dust. It also concerns the spent nuclear fuel storage facility, which holds 80% of all spent fuel accumulated during the plant's operation. These are spent fuel assemblies with a total weight of more than 3,250 tons.
The Russians could not have been unaware that striking facilities in Slavutik would have such consequences for Chernobyl. And this was a deliberate strike, involving more than 20 drones. Preliminary estimates indicate Russian Iranian Shaheds. Some of these drones were shot down, but the attack was specifically executed as a wave to complicate the facility's defense.
Zelensky noted that the blackout at the Zaporizhzhia and PP caused by Russian attacks in the area has been ongoing for 8 days, and the Russians are doing nothing to fix the situation or allow Ukrainian specialists to restore external power to the plant.
Russia is intentionally creating a risk of radiological incidents, taking advantage, unfortunately, of the weak stance of the IAEA and Director General Rafael Grossi, as well as the dispersed global attention.
It is crucial that European countries, the United States and the G7 and G20 nations take real action for peace and security to the fullest extent possible. Strongest response and appropriate pressure on Russia are required to protect human life. French naval personnel have boarded the Russian-linked tanker Boracay and Court of France's western coast and currently under investigation by French authorities, reported by European Pravda citing AFP. Photos released by AFP on Wednesday, the 1st of October, show uniformed servicemen on the deck of the Boracay. A French government source confirmed to AFP that naval personnel had indeed boarded the vessel, but did not specify the reason for this action. About background, it was reported earlier that French authorities had launched an investigation into the Boracay, which sails under the flag of Benin and has been anchored off France's Atlantic coast for several days. The tanker, built in 2007, is currently anchored near Saint-Nazaire on France's western Atlantic shoreline. Media reports previously suggested that the Boracay may be linked to recent drone incidents observed over Denmark as the vessel had sailed past its coast. French President Emmanuel Macron commented that the Boracay was suspected of serious offenses, but declined to address speculation about its involvement in drone launches. Why it matters? This isn't just about one ship. The Boracay incident points to a growing and underreported threat: the use of civilian maritime assets by Russia to carry out gray zone operations, including intelligence gathering, electronic surveillance, and potentially even drone or sabotage missions in European waters. Recent media reports suggest Boracay may have passed near Denmark during a period of unexplained drone activity over Danish territory. Whether or not this specific link is confirmed, the border pattern is unmistakable and dangerous. Russia's ghost fleet and what it's really doing. Over the past 2 years, Russia has quietly built a shadow fleet. Civilian-flagged vessels, often tankers or cargo ships, with opaque ownership operating under flags of convenience, frequently manipulating tracking data or going dark on AIS. While originally constructed to evade oil sanctions, this fleet has increasingly been suspected of engaging in hybrid maritime activity.
Mapping undersea cables and critical infrastructure, conducting SIGINT/ELINT from civilian ships, launching or coordinating drone surveillance missions, testing NATO's maritime reaction time in legal thresholds.
Ships like the Boracay fit this profile almost too well, flagged to Benin with ambiguous ownership, loitering off strategic coastlines, and appearing near countries experiencing aerial incursions by unidentified drones. That's all for today. Thanks for watching this video. Support Ukraine, like and subscribe.